You can't do that in Mexico, but she did, and the internet exploded.
A woman from the US confronted a Mexican family on a public beach and told them to leave.
But what happened next sparked outrage across the country. Today, we're diving into a story that's been making waves here in Mexico, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, it involved a viral video, a public beach, a foreigner who overstepped big time, and a serious fine from the government.
We'll talk about what actually happened in San Pancho, why so many people are outraged, and what this means for anyone thinking about moving to Mexico.
So here's what went down. A foreign woman, reportedly from the US, was filmed confronting a Mexican family who were relaxing on San Pancho Beach in the state of Nayarit, just north of Puerto Vallarta.
According to witnesses, she told the family they were on her property and demanded that they leave the area immediately.
But she didn't stop there. Multiple reports say she kicked over their drinks, shouted at them, and caused a scene in front of other beachgoers.
Thankfully, someone had their phone out and recorded part of the interaction. That video was quickly uploaded, and within hours, it started spreading across Mexican TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp groups.
If you've never been, San Pancho is a small, peaceful beach town. It's known for its artsy vibe, yoga retreats, ecotourism. People go there to relax and connect with nature.
And that's what made it even worse. It wasn't a spring break party or some rowdy crowd. It was just a family enjoying their beach day.
And the reactions online, instant. Thousands of comments poured in, some shocked, others furious. As one commenter put it, many come here for the paradise and they act like they own it.
Honestly, when we first heard of this, we were just stunned. It was the entitlement, the tone, the total disconnection from how things work here.
Because let's be clear, respecting local laws is the bare minimum. But respecting people, that's what matters the most. Within hours, it had spread across the country and ignited a firestorm online. What started as a disturbing moment on one beach turned into a nationwide conversation.
Because this wasn't just about a foreign woman being rude, it touched a nerve about ownership, privilege, and respect.
It became about something much bigger. Who gets to feel welcome in Mexico, and what happens when outsiders forget their guests here?
And legally speaking, there's no gray area here. In Mexico, beaches are public spaces, period. The law guarantees access up to 20 meters from the high tide line, no matter who owns the adjacent property.
So unless you're building sandcastles beyond that 20-meter line, which this family absolutely was not, no one has the right to kick you off a beach.
And here's the kicker. Foreigners can't even legally own property outright on Mexico's coast, along a strip of 50 kilometers or about 31 miles.
That's right. Coastal properties are held in a trust called fideicomiso, where the legal title is actually owned by a Mexican bank on a foreigner's behalf. So technically, it's not even their land to begin with.
And just to be clear, yelling at people and physically harassing them for using a public space, that's not just illegal, it's unacceptable behavior anywhere.
The public backlash was immediate and intense. It wasn't just social media outrage, state officials got involved quickly.
The governor of Nayarit even made a public statement emphasizing that no one, foreigner or not, has the right to restrict public beach access.
And it wasn't just words. The woman was fined 150,000 pesos, or about 7,500 US dollars, by Mexico's Environmental Protection Agency.
But that wasn't all. She was also ordered to stop construction on her property because of zoning and environmental violations.
In other words, the message was loud and clear. The law applies to everyone, local or foreign, rich or not. No one's above the law.
And maybe the most powerful response came from the community itself. Just days after the video went viral, dozens of locals gathered peacefully on that same beach to send a message.
They weren't yelling, they weren't angry, they were just there, reclaiming their public space. Families, artists, musicians, even local officials showed up.
One woman was holding a sign that said, "Las playas no se venden, se cuidan." Beaches aren't for sale, they're to be protected.
We found that moment incredibly moving because it reminded us that cultural respect isn't enforced with anger, it's claimed with presence.
The whole event sparked a broader conversation, not just for foreigners, but also about gentrification, about tourism, and about what kind of future communities like San Pancho want to build.
And to be honest, the backlash wasn't just about this one woman. It was about a pattern people are starting to feel all over Mexico and the world.
This wasn't just about one argument on one beach. It struck a nerve because this kind of tension is happening more and more across Mexico. As more foreigners move here, some short-term, some full-time, the cultural lines are getting blurrier, and sometimes people forget they're guests in this country.
We've seen this dynamic firsthand. People come here for the beauty, the affordability, the culture, but then they try to reshape it into something more familiar, more comfortable for themselves.
And it doesn't always start with confrontation. Sometimes it's the little things like expecting English everywhere, ignoring local customs, or getting frustrated when things don't run on your time. Too many fireworks, on and on and on. There's like a million things.
These aren't isolated incidents. They're part of a growing awareness around cultural dignity and boundaries. But over time, those little things add up. Locals feel pushed out, rent skyrockets, and beach towns that once felt like home start to feel like someone else's resort.
And this isn't just happening in Mexico. In Thailand recently, a park ranger expelled some tourists, a Russian couple, after they greeted him with ni hao, which means hello in China, assuming all Asians are Chinese.
Some might argue that the ranger was a bit oversensitive, but locals are pushing back when visitors show up without basic respect. We can't expect that everywhere we go is going to be just like home. We have to be cognizant of the fact that there are different cultures, there are different ways of life, there are different rules and laws. You have to know, for example, that coming to Mexico, the public beaches, all beaches are public, and you cannot outright own the beach that's in front of you. You have to educate yourself.
Don't you think though that when she bought the land that she's building her home on, that she would have asked the question to the notario, do I own the beach land also in front of my house? And don't you think that the notario would have told her, no, you don't. No, the government owns that land. That's public land and anyone can be on it.
Yeah, I mean, we would definitely ask.
I would have asked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to know what was going through her head, but I mean, this is not an isolated thing. And I would say this woman falls under the Karen category, that's for sure.
Yeah, no offense to all the Karens.
Yeah, no offense to all the Karens in the world. But wow, if you watch the video, she was really wrong.
And we see that here all the time in our local social media groups. People that move to San Miguel and all of a sudden aren't happy with something and they want to change that something.
Yeah.
Whether it's
the noise or fireworks or the dog barking at the neighbor or the rooster that lives next door. People get upset about that kind of stuff.
We would suggest if you're thinking of moving to a place to visit it first.
Visit it, live there.
Yeah, for as long as you can before committing to purchasing a property.
Yeah.
Because you're not really going to know what a place is like until you spent time there. And otherwise, you might not be happy and it'll be too late because you'll have a property that you'll need to deal with.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's best to spend time in a place before you commit to living there because you need to make sure that you really do love the people, the culture, and the way the country is run.
Yeah, and even if you're just visiting a place for a few days or a couple of weeks, I mean, that couple in Thailand that thought that ni hao, Chinese for hello, was the appropriate thing to say to a Thai person shows their ignorance. And it's such an easy thing to do, such a basic thing to do, to learn how to say hello in the local language.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that much effort.
Or even just say hello when in doubt.
Just say it in English. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have saved them a lot of hassle and trouble getting kicked out of... did they get kicked out of the country or just out of that national park they were in?
Yeah, they got kicked out of a national park. They were on the beach on a national park in Thailand, and the ranger kicked them out. I don't know. He maybe overreacted. Some people might disagree, but that might have been a little overreaction. And I think he has been fired from his post.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. But he was like a national popular figure in Thailand.
He had an Instagram page with millions of followers.
Yeah. Wow. We'll post a link to that video too.
We'll try to find it.
Yeah, so that you can watch that one as well and see what you think and let us know. What happened in San Pancho was just a flashpoint, a visible symptom of a much deeper imbalance.
And that's what this moment calls for. Not just knowing the laws, but understanding the spirit of the place you've chosen to live in.
Respect looks like learning the language, tipping according to the local norms, asking questions instead of making demands.
It means showing up with humility and remembering that paradise doesn't belong to you just because you bought a house on it.
Because here's the truth. The best way to be welcomed in Mexico is to act like someone who's honored to be here. So what can we take from all of this? First, know the laws of the country you're in. Being a foreigner doesn't give you a pass.
And second, be a good neighbor. Learn a few words in the local language, support local businesses, show up with curiosity, not entitlement. These aren't isolated incidents. They're part of a growing awareness around cultural dignity and boundaries.
And we feel incredibly grateful to live in Mexico, and we don't take that for granted. This story is a reminder that living in Mexico is a privilege, not a right.
And whether it's a beach, a town square, or your neighborhood, living here means sharing space. That's the heart of it.
So if you're thinking of moving to another country, do it with humility, with open eyes and an open heart.
And if you're already here or somewhere else, keep learning, keep listening. That's how we build real connections.
We want to know what you think. Did you see the video? In fact, we should put a link below to the video so that everybody can watch it. How would you have reacted?
Let us know in the comments. And if you found this helpful, give it a like and share it with anyone living or thinking about living abroad.
And if you made it this far, you'll enjoy watching one of the suggested videos on your screen next. Thanks for watching ANF Beyond. See you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.